Well, I guess I gotta turn this into a regular series, huh? Hey guys, it's Ash, and today I'll be talking about some more strange manga that I have found. Like I always love to emphasize, just because I find these manga to be strange, it does not necessarily mean that they're bad. Of course, your mileage may vary, but at the very least, I want to bring attention to some of these manga that I've come across in my many years of reading random manga I find. And on that note, let's get started on the first manga we're going to be talking about this week. Akiyamasan no Tori Life by Suda Nanafushi. The description for this one reads, one day, she learns that her subordinate, Mr. Takazaki, is going bird watching, so she goes along with him just to see the birds, and ends up being completely addicted to the swamp of birds and cameras. A weekend of bird watching alone with a camera girl with big... can I say that word? And glasses. A bird enthusiast author presents an outdoor manga that welcomes beginners. Like I mentioned in the previous video, the first manga I talked about in this series had to do with cats. The first manga I talked about in the second video had to do with dogs. So to continue the tradition, the first manga I talk about in this video has to do with birds. Now me, I love birds. I love them so much. This is not a joke. I got two birds here. I got Ichigo, she's a cockatiel, and I got Vanilla, and she's a budgie, and she hates me. I just adore birds in general. They always move like they're skipping frames and they are just adorable. So seeing a bird watching manga with a pretty okay looking girl on the cover, I'm like, okay, let's give this a shot. And truth be told, it's really not that bad. It actually delves deep into not just bird watching, but also camera equipment, which I found to be pretty interesting, not gonna lie. It's a really comfy office rom-com between two consenting adults who just go out on dates, bird watching, and it's really sweet to see their interactions and their dialogue and her massive tuft of hair, which really bothers me. It's genuinely one of those manga where you can feel the passion behind the mangaka regarding like the specific subject matter. It's really nice to see someone be so passionate about bird watching. I've never done it myself, but it seems to be a rather relaxing time, and to see that conveyed so kindly, I guess for lack of a better term, in this manga, it's sweet. I like it a lot. The way the various birds are drawn throughout the manga is pretty sick. They're detailed, but not photorealistic. The sketchy nature of the manga kind of seems amateurish, but I think it works wonders in my opinion. The cross-hatching is beautiful, and I really love how he shades not just the clothing, but also the birds. At the end of the first chapter, there's little bird facts about the bird that they were just looking at, and it's pretty sweet. I like this a lot. Like, sure, you do get some fan service shots of the main girl, but I guess that kind of serves as a driving point for people who may not be too interested in bird watching, because if you don't like bird watching, at the very least you get to see this kind of cute girl, so it's not so bad. Some of the panels are just like, okay, come on now, I know what you're doing. Out of curiosity, I checked the mangaka's actual Twitter, and it's just full of bird photos and also busty women, so if you're into either of those, I highly recommend you give this one a shot. I don't think it's that bad at all, actually. Had I not want to do a strange manga I find video this week, I probably would have saved this manga for a strange manga that I like video, but that'll be coming soon, so don't worry about that too much. Alrighty, next on the agenda, we have a manga called Ears by Tatsuban. The straight-laced class rep tries to get the Gyaru Kazuki to follow the school rules. Becomes an ASMR addict instead. You know, the usual. This was one of those manga that kind of pulled me in from the name alone, so I definitely had to give this one a shot. And it's it's exactly what the description says, I'm not gonna lie. Main girl is the strict student council president. She tries to reprimand the little Gyaru who's acting out of line. Gyaru uses some genjutsu on her, and bada bing bada boom, she is into ASMR now. I like the big bushy eyebrows of the main girl, it's cute. I'm not into ASMR myself, but I respect the work that goes into like the craft. It does seem like it takes a lot of effort and equipment in order to get it done right. So, hey, I mean, more power to you. You can see here she's using her cursed energy in order to manipulate this fake ear, and it somehow affects the main girl's real ear. So, use this information to your advantage when you're planning your next attack. And you can see here, she's actually using the attack directly on the host body instead of using the fake catalyst. So you can also use that for information for your next attack. Each chapter is really short, like I'm talking 1 to 4 pages maximum, so you can get this done in about 5 minutes. I don't read too much girls love manga, I'm more of a fan of tragic boys love. Go read Jujutsu. It's funny how, like, the most detailed and extensive chapters are the ones that have to do with ASMR, whereas everything else is typically one page. The ones focused on the main girl experiencing ASMR happens to be 4 to 5 pages, and it's pretty detailed. But all in all, I read all 15 and a half chapters of this, and I thought it was cute. It was nothing offensive, it was just a sweet little love story between two high school girls. The full name seems to be the class rep with weak ears and the punk Gyaru-chan who attacks ears, which I think is a much funnier title to just ears, but you know. I take back one of my previous comments about this being nice and sweet. The hidden bonus chapter is quite devious, so be careful if you read that one in public. But all in all, I say we're 2 for 2 in terms of the manga I've covered this week. They're not offensively bad, they're not really too strange, it's just conceptually they're a little odd or out of the norm, but they're not necessarily bad so far. And truth be told, that mantra kind of carries over to the next manga that I'm going to be talking about this week. Dating the kind of girl you shouldn't get involved with, by Grande, or Grande, like Ariana. The female protagonist, Miyu, is your typical gold digger girl. She hooks up with guys, milks them for all she hooks up with guys, milk them for all they're worth, then dump them and move on to her next prey. Yuki-kun, her latest target, seems to just be your typical nice guy that genuinely looks out for Miyu, completely oblivious of her attentions. However, something's different about him that makes Miyu unable to carry on her usual scheme. I'm gonna keep coming back to this, but do you remember that yandere manga I talked about a few weeks ago? This is basically that. But she's not really a yandere, she's just deeply in love with the main character, who is you. You're the main character. No, like literally, his name is Yuki, so that's you. It does the same thing that the yandere manga does, where it has the main girl be presenting in a situation that seems kinda intimidating or scary, but then the next page that immediately follows is her happy, like, oh okay, you know, she's fine, she's totally cool. Each chapter is roughly a page or two, and they typically do the thing where you have a line down the middle. On one side you have what she's saying, and on the other side is what she's actually believing. And then the next page is her succumbing to the guy that she loves, who is you. Again, that's you. I don't know if it's like a texture or something, but like the way the stockings are rendered in the second chapter is like really good for some reason. Actually, I take that back. It's really well rendered on every chapter that she has her stockings on. That's kind of crazy, huh? Look at that. Look at this outfit that she's rocking in chapter 5. Look at this, dude. She looks awesome. The chapters would typically follow a structure of the first page taking place in the past, but then the next page is in the present/future where they actually get together. And it showcases the, dynamic, the juxtaposition between how she behaved back then and how she currently behaves now with her dearly beloved. She keeps trying to pull, the typical curse techniques on him, trying to get him to fall for her, but she genuinely falls in love with him, who treats her with genuine kindness and love. So it's really sweet in that regard. There's chapters where she's trying to manipulate him or try to play him for a fool, but then his honest nature and his genuine caring attitude ends up influencing her in a good way and makes her change for the better. And I think it's sweet. I think it's really sweet, actually. I like chapter 8, where she mentions how the past guys she got with either tried to get with her physically or were completely different in person than they were online, and it's juxtapositioned with how this current boyfriend/husband treats her like a human being and actually loves her and gives her a little anniversary gift. I think it's a really sweet manga. Could you consider this pandering to the lowest common denominator? I mean, maybe, but I'm in a happy relationship myself, so if I find this nice, then people who aren't in relationships may also like it. Maybe, I don't know. Chapter 10's cute too. She's thinking of sending him a breakup text, but then she imagines his face, which is nothing, and then she gets all shy and she decides, you know what, I can't do this. All in all, again, we're 3 for 3 now at this point in terms of manga that is pretty sweet, and actually I can recommend these to people. Though maybe not ears, that's a little weird, but it's fine. All these manga have been fine so far. And this next manga is shaping up to be no different, if I'm being honest. Here we got A Girl Whose Dark Circles in Her Eyes Disappear as the Story Progresses by Suaru Hajime. There's no description for this one, but it's pretty much in the title, if we're being real here. The main girl is a tired-looking lass who is in the science club, and she's hanging out with the only other student in the science club, who is you again. Hey, look at that. Scolding cold take ahead, but I think girls with eye bags are pretty cool. And as the title would have you to believe, with each chapter, the girl's eye bags get less and less severe. She tries to act all cool, talking about how medication doesn't help, and she tries to sleep but nothing works, but the main character, who is you, ends up helping her out considerably. Whether it be actually hanging out with her, or giving her a warm drink, or rattling her brain around for a couple of minutes, you go through all the motions in order to help her achieve a good night's sleep. Look at how happy she is at the end of chapter 3, it's really cute, look at her. I read all 7 chapters that are out, and yeah, the title does not lie. As the manga goes on, her eye bags become less and less noticeable, and it's really cute to see her go from being kind of a recluse who's afraid of interaction, to actually going out on dates and hanging out with the main character. It's really cute progression, and kind of adds to all the other cute manga I've been talking about this week. Okay, I really gotta talk about the elephant in the room. What is up with the scan leader? Like, I avoided talking about it until I finished covering the manga, but genuinely, what is this guy doing? At the end of pretty much every chapter, he just includes some nonsense like this, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? This one in particular got me worried. Like, is he machine translating this manga? Like, I never really read machine translated manga before, so I can't differentiate it from, like, translated manga, but still, like, what are you doing, bro? The weekend one did make me laugh, I'm not gonna lie, and this math one also made me laugh, I'm also not gonna lie, this one's still pretty good. But as it stands, we are 4 for 4 in terms of good manga I've talked about this week, but I think we all know where it's going. Yeah, see, I chose to talk about those nice manga to kind of prepare you for the next manga, which is the last one, and also the thumbnail, I Want to Punch Woman. There is no description for this manga, but I think that title says it all. Now, I wanted to give this manga a chance for the sole reason that I adore a manga called Onani Master, which, if you don't know what that means, you can look it up. I'll probably be talking about that manga soon, so keep an eye out. But I bring up Onani Master due to the fact that Onani Master does not have the best title, nor does it have the best first impression, but it's still a really good coming-of-age manga about a kid who realizes that a lot of stuff that's showcased in harem ecchi manga is just not applicable to real life, and that, newsflash, human beings have human emotions. I'm grossly generalizing what Onani Master is about, but all I'm saying is it's a fantastic read, and I thought that I would get something similar in I Want to Punch Woman. I won't be showing any scenes of violence in this video because I just don't like it. I don't like seeing cutesy anime girls in pain. But you do have some fantastic panels in here, such as I Was Born to Punch Woman. The manga itself is a webcomic, so it's an amateur affair, and it seems to be on hiatus. There's only 2 chapters of it translated, so I went to the official mangaka's website and tried to look at what they had so far in Japanese. The main character has a little training montage in the first chapter where he showcases how much he went through in order to be the perfect woman puncher. He talks like Mikey from Tokyo Revengers in the sense that he has these dark impulses where he's just hanging out, but the moment he sees a woman, he just activates predator vision. There's something really charming about a bunch of amateur manga when you see shots like this or sketchy line art. I really enjoy reading this sort of thing. I guess that's also why I gravitated towards Onani Master, because its sketchy art style helped lend to its wonderful theme of coming of age. I think the person translating this doesn't have English as their first language, which is fine. I still commend it because I figured translating manga from one language to another language that you don't know too well can be a pretty good learning experience, but this panel of I Cry is pretty funny. As I mentioned before, there's only 2 chapters that are currently translated, so I ended up going to the artist's website to see if they had any more, and I ended up reading, or attempting to read, I just looked at the pictures, I don't read Japanese, but I just looked through the remaining chapters that were available. And the big takeaway I got from it was in the latest chapter, he actually goes to the girl that he beat up as a child, and he's bawling in front of her, so I assume he feels remorse for what he did. While not perfect, and seems to be driven on shock value at first, I think this may be interesting to follow, and had it not been on hiatus, and had more chapters been available, I could have seen myself seeing this through to the end. It seems to have started off as a joke, but it could end up being something special in the end. But I guess that about covers it for the strange manga I'll be talking about this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry to end on a kind of downer of a manga, but I figured supplementing it with 4 kind of cute rom-coms would make the blow a little easier. I think next week I'm going to do a video on strange manga I find that I actually enjoy a lot, because not all the manga I find that happens to be strange happens to be bad, you know? They end up being a lot better than you may assume. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching to the end, subscribing, all that junk. I really appreciate it. It does mean the world to me. And I'll catch you guys next time. If you have any recommendations for manga or anything, just holla at me, and I'll see you then. Take it easy.